bad about my voice. I was up all night last night searching for Scoop because I knew we were going to do a video today, and it wouldn't be a video without the great Scoop Jackson. So I apologize, but let's get to the forecast. All right. I know it's been a really crappy winter as far as no snow, but when we said in the forecast video for the winter that this was going to be a second half winter, and we are pretty much halfway through winter this week. So what a great way to kick off the second half of winter. This has been a well-advertised storm, and it is going to be as advertised up and down the eastern seaboard. What we have a storm system that came on from the west coast. It dove down across the Rockies and it gathered all sorts of moisture from the Gulf of Mexico as it started to cut up through Tennessee. What it's happened now, it's happening today and started last night, is it's transferring its energy to the coast. We call this a Miller B type storm. And what happens then is as it starts to get off of Cape Hatteras, it starts to what's called bomb out. Now the difference between this storm and any other regular snowstorm is that initial energy is it's called an upper level low. And what's going to happen is that they're actually going to rejoin again after Cape Hatteras, and it then becomes what's called a cutoff low. And what it means is it's cut off from the regular circulation of winds that take storms out quickly. And so the reason why you're hearing such big snow totals is because this is a long duration storm. It's not going to last just 12, 18 hours. It's going to last 20, 26, 28 hours. And when you have snow falling at an inch to a half an inch to an inch to even 2 inches an hour, that's how you get the huge snow totals. So what happens is the low pressure comes off the Delmarva Peninsula and it sits here. And then eventually it will get kicked out come very late Saturday night and Sunday morning. All right, so what we need to do now is I want to break down the different models. All right, the updates I've been putting out on email are not a forecast. All they are is telling you guys what the models are saying. Because the meteorologists on TV will never ever say that because they're thinking that people are going to think, oh, that's a forecast. So what I've been doing is letting you guys know what are the models saying. And the models have been crazy. You have GFS, European, and Canadian. They are mid-range to long-range models. When you get within 50 hours, you want to start looking at the NAM and some other minor models because they specialize in short-range models. And all along over the last 24 hours, the NAM has been putting out huge totals, while the GFS and the European and the Canadian haven't been. But things have changed as of just this morning. All right, the first model I want to show you guys is the Canadian. All right, this is, I know it kind of looks like super colors, like a rainbow barfed on the board or something. All right, but here's Lehigh County right here. Here's Northampton County. All right, and here are inches. All right, this is 2 inches, 6 inches, 10 inches, and so forth. And you can see the strong difference between northern Lehigh County and northern Northampton County. The very, very top corner of the Northampton County only has 2 inches. This is one model. But the most southern tip of Lehigh County has 12 inches. So yes, you go from 12 to 2 inches. It is crazy, but it even gets more extreme than this. Let's look at the next model run. All right, this is the European. The European finally came on board and started pushing up the snow totals. The European just yesterday morning was saying only 2 inches for us. So things are trending towards the NAM. As you can see, the same thing with this one. The European in southern Lehigh County has around 12 inches of snow. It has 11 in Allentown, 11 in Bethlehem, but in the very, very northern tip near East Stroudsburg, it has close to only 6 inches of snow. All right, this is the GFS from this morning, and the GFS all along was saying it was going to be a sharp cutoff. And as you can see, this is from around 11 o'clock this morning. All right, the GFS has really upped the game. All right, the lowest total I could find in extreme northern Northampton County is 5 inches, which is a huge bump up. And when you look at southern Lehigh County, the highest total I can find is 22 inches right there. So yeah, 5 to 22 inches. Big difference. All right, this is called a forecasting nightmare. It does not get any more extreme than that. As you can see, the big jackpot with the GFS is Washington, Philadelphia, Harrisburg area. And then now for the Grand Poobah, the NAM. All right, the NAM is this is what it's supposed to specialize. The NAM is a short range model, and believe it or not, when you compare how the NAM has done in their forecasting to what has happened over the last 12 to 24 hours, the NAM has been the most accurate. You got to put stock into the NAM. All right, you look at the NAM right here. Well, let's go up the scale. All right, you're looking at 24 to 30 inches. But in the reverse order, from south to north. Harrisburg, look at that number, 36 inches. That's insane. Is it one model run? No. This has been saying this for almost 6-8 models in a row over the last 36 hours. You got to put stock into this. The only thing that has me concerned is why is it that it's more as you go north when the other models are saying less as you go north. So we are 24 hours out from the storm, and yet the models, as much as they have come together, they are still not agreeing. So this is the models. These are what I'm showing you. So the big decision I need to make is what's my opinion and what's going to happen. So what I got going on for the next, for my forecast, is I took a blend of the models and put a little bit more stock into the NAM. All right. From southern Lehigh County, Reading, through Harrisburg, and south, 18 plus inches. Okay? From southern Lehigh County through basically the north tip of Northampton County, 12 to 18. And I'm going to go with there's going to be less as you go further north. All right? More as you go further south. So I'm taking the concept of the European, the Canadian, and the GFS, but I'm using the NAM snow totals. And as you get north into the Poconos, East Stroudsburg to Jim Thorpe, 6 to 12, but elevation will always play a game with that higher elevation. The more you get, lower in the valleys, less you get. And then from midway up the Poconos, Scranton, and north, 6 inches and less, and then extending out. All right. Along with this, we're going to have extremely heavy winds. The reason why we don't have a blizzard watch is because you need to have sustained winds of 35 miles an hour or higher. All right. They are going to have the blizzard watches and warnings because they are closer to the low pressure system where the winds are higher. If we had those winds, we would be in blizzard watches right now. It doesn't have to necessarily do with snow. It has to do with wind. And we're not going to have as strong, not to say we're not going to be very windy and it's going to have tons of drifts, but not blizzard criteria. So look out for possible power outages with that. I don't think it's going to be too bad. It's not going to be like Hurricane Sandy. It's not going to be power outages like the October snow from a few years ago because there were leaves on the trees then. So this is going to be a storm for the record books. This is going to be a storm that's going to rival in some areas down towards Philly, DC, Baltimore, the blizzard of 96. That's how big and powerful this storm is. So everybody wants to know about Monday. How's this going to affect Monday? I look at the sleep inometer right here. The first time, yay, for the sleep inometer for this year. Hopefully we get a lot more times. All right. I say 2 hour delay, only a 10% chance because I really do feel that if we get 12 to 18 inches with huge drifts, the schools aren't going to get everything cleared in time for Monday. So I say no school 90% for no school on Monday. Just a look ahead. Yes, kiddies. It looks like maybe another possible storm next Thursday. Keeping an eye on that. And the pattern is juicy. And so that means February. We're looking good for being 150%, even though we haven't had an inch of snow. I think we have a half an inch of snow so far. We haven't had an inch of snow so far this winter, and I still feel confident in 150% of our seasonal average, which puts us in the 50s inch-wise. All right, so I'm getting into my ear right now that we need to cut to our field reporter because he's got some updated information on Scoop Jackson. So let's figure out what that is.
Have you seen Scoop?
Who's Scoop?
Have you seen Scoop? Who? Scoop! We haven't seen him in months!
Months?
Months! Where's Scoop?
Oh, man.
It's already here.
How you doing? Hair, makeup, okay?
Yeah, we're good. Good. There you go. We're good. A little scruffy.